Picture this, you're standing at the gate, ready to board your flight, when suddenly an airline employee stops you. That carry-on bag you've traveled with for years, the one that's been on a dozen international trips without a single problem. Today, it doesn't fit their measuring frame. And now you're stuck there scrambling to repack while everyone behind you watches and waits. If you're a senior traveler, this isn't just embarrassing, it's exhausting, stressful, and completely avoidable. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I'm about to share everything you need to know about the new carry-on enforcement reality in 2026, specifically designed for senior travelers who want to breeze through airports without the drama, without the stress, and without sacrificing the essentials you need within arm's reach. Welcome back to Entry Status USA, where we bring you practical, no-nonsense travel information that actually helps you navigate airports, borders, and everything in between. I'm here to make your travel experience smoother, safer, and a whole lot less stressful. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe right now because we post regular updates on visa requirements, airport procedures, and senior-friendly travel tips that can save you hours of frustration and hundreds of dollars in unexpected fees. Hit that notification bell too, so you never miss an update that could change your next trip. Today, we're diving deep into something that's affecting thousands of senior travelers right now in 2026, the dramatic shift in how airlines are enforcing carry-on rules at the gate. This isn't about new regulations. The official size limits haven't changed much at all. What has changed is enforcement, and that difference is catching experienced travelers completely off guard. Let me start by saying something that might surprise you. Your carry-on bag hasn't changed, but the airport absolutely has. The suitcase sitting in your closet, the one you've successfully carried on to flights from Los Angeles to London, from Chicago to Cancun, might look perfectly acceptable when you're packing at home, but the moment it reaches that metal frame at the gate, everything changes. You see, airlines have always had size restrictions. Most major US carriers have been operating around the same standard for years, approximately 22 in X14 in X9 in. But here's what's different now. In the past, gate agents had some discretion. If your bag was close enough, if it looked reasonable, if the flight wasn't completely packed, they might let it slide. That flexibility, it's disappearing fast. Airlines are cracking down because planes are fuller than ever. Overhead bins are filling up within minutes of boarding, and they're trying to keep the entire process moving efficiently. For senior travelers, this creates a specific challenge that goes way beyond just following rules. When you're told at the last second that your bag needs to be gate checked, you're suddenly faced with an uncomfortable reality. You need to quickly pull out medications, reading glasses, battery chargers, hearing aid supplies, maybe your blood pressure monitor or glucose tablets, anything you might need during the flight or immediately upon landing. And you're doing all of this while standing in a crowded boarding area, while other passengers are flowing past you, while your back is reminding you that bending over repeatedly wasn't part of today's plan. It's stressful, it's physically demanding. And worst of all, it's completely preventable if you know what you're doing before you ever leave home. So let's talk about the roller suitcase situation, because this is where a lot of senior travelers run into trouble. Rolling luggage is absolutely the right choice for most older travelers. It saves your shoulders, protects your wrists, and keeps you from straining muscles you'd rather not think about. The problem is that roller bags are also the first ones to get scrutinized at the gate. Why? Because wheels and handles add bulk. That retractable handle mechanism at the top of your suitcase, it counts toward your total dimensions. Those four wheels on the bottom that make your life so much easier, they count too. Even that front zippered pocket where you stuffed your travel documents, snacks, and a cardigan. If it's bulging out, it's adding to your measurements. When airlines say your bag needs to fit within 9 in, they mean the entire external footprint of the bag, not just the main compartment. Here's a scenario that plays out every single day at airports across the country. A traveler shows up with a bag that technically measures 22 in when empty and flat, but they've packed it completely full. They've used that expansion zipper to squeeze in just a little bit more. They've stuffed the front pocket until it looks like it's holding its breath, and now when they try to slide it into that sizing frame at the gate, it doesn't fit cleanly. Maybe it catches on one corner. Maybe the bulging front pocket prevents it from sliding all the way in. Either way, the result is the same. The bag gets tagged for gate check. And if you're a senior traveler, managing multiple concerns, keeping track of medications, staying hydrated, managing any mobility challenges, this sudden disruption can throw off your entire boarding experience. So, here's what I want you to do before your next trip. Take out that suitcase you're planning to bring. Measure it yourself, but measure it the way the airport will, from the outermost point on every side. Include the wheels, include the handle, include any pockets, especially if they're full. Then pack the bag exactly like you would for a real trip. Don't pack it lightly just to test it. Fill it with the actual items you'd bring, zip it up completely, and look at it honestly. Does that front pocket look stretched? Is the zipper straining at all? When you set it down, does it naturally want to tip or lean because it's overstuffed? These are all signs that your bag might pass at home but fail at the gate. And if you're using that expansion zipper feature, here's my advice. Skip it. That extra inch of space might seem helpful when you're packing, but it's often the exact inch that causes your bag to fail the sizing test. Plus, that extra inch usually means extra weight, and extra weight is something your back and shoulders will complain about later, especially after you've been navigating airports and hotel hallways. Let me give you a 10-second visual test you can do at home. Look at your hard shell roller bag. Check that all four wheels are firmly attached and roll smoothly. Make sure the handle extends and retracts without catching. Most importantly, look at that front pocket. If it looks like it's bulging, if it looks full and rounded instead of flat against the bag, that's your warning sign. A bag that's fighting to stay closed is a bag that won't fit through the frame. When you're shopping for a new carry-on, prioritize bags that roll smoothly even when empty. Test the weight of the empty bag in the store. A suitcase that feels heavy before you put anything inside is going to feel unbearable after a day of travel. Look for handles that extend high enough that you can walk naturally upright instead of hunching forward. Your posture matters, especially when you're pulling a bag through long terminal corridors or waiting in line at customs. Now, let me share a habit that will make your entire senior travel experience calmer and more manageable. Keep your absolute must-have items in a separate personal item that stays under the seat in front of you. I'm going to go into detail about building that system in just a moment, but I want you to understand why this matters so much. If your roller bag gets unexpectedly gate checked, you won't be scrambling to dig through it in a panic. Your medications, your important documents, your phone charger, everything critical is already with you, safely stowed under the seat where you can reach it anytime during the flight without even standing up. This simple shift in how you pack eliminates about 80% of the stress that comes with last-minute gate checks. But getting the size right is only half the equation. The other half is weight, and this is where a lot of travelers are getting caught off guard in 2026. For years, carry-on weight limits were technically part of airline policies, but they weren't really enforced. You'd see that little line in the fine print saying carry-ons must be under a certain weight, but unless you were boarding a tiny regional plane, nobody ever checked. That's changing. More airlines are pulling out scales at check-in counters, at gate podiums, even in boarding areas. And this enforcement is especially common on international flights, particularly with non-US carriers. If you're flying anywhere in Asia, Europe, or connecting through major international hubs, expect that your carry-on might get weighed. The numbers themselves don't sound that restrictive at first. Many international carriers set limits around 8 to 10 kg, which translates to roughly 17 to 22 lb. That seems reasonable until you start doing the actual math. Your empty roller suitcase, depending on the model, probably weighs somewhere between 6 and 10 lb all by itself. Add a laptop, which is typically 3 to 5 lb. Throw in your toiletry kit with travel-size bottles, maybe another pound. An extra pair of walking shoes adds another pound or two. A couple of books or magazines, a tablet, phone chargers, battery packs, a light jacket, an extra sweater. Suddenly you're pushing 20 lb or more without even including your clothes. If the airline limit is 17 lb and your bag weighs 23, you've got a problem. And unlike the sizing frame, which at least gives you a visual warning, weight problems often come as a complete surprise at the gate. For senior travelers, the real issue isn't just the fee you might have to pay if you're over the limit. It's what happens next. If your bag is flagged as overweight, you're now facing a gate repack scenario. You're bending over your suitcase in a crowded, noisy terminal. You're trying to figure out what to remove while people are boarding around you. You're shifting weight from one hand to another, trying to balance your bag, your personal item, maybe your jacket and boarding pass, all while feeling rushed and stressed. Your lower back starts protesting, your shoulders get tight, and if you're traveling alone without someone to help hold things or offer a second opinion, the whole situation gets even more overwhelming. This is exactly the kind of travel stress that can turn a trip from enjoyable to exhausting before you even get on the plane. So here's my simple strategy for avoiding this entirely. When you're packing at home, set yourself a target weight that's about 1 to 2 lb under the airline's stated limit. That buffer is your safety margin. Airport scales aren't always perfectly calibrated. The scale at home might read slightly different from the one at check-in. Plus, you might pick up a bottle of water or a snack after security, or grab something at a duty-free shop, and that adds weight. By building in that small cushion, you protect yourself from surprises. Invest in a small handheld luggage scale. They cost about $10 to $15, and turn weight checking into a 10-second habit. Hook it to your suitcase handle, lift, and check the number. If you're close to the limit or over it, you have time to make changes at home in a calm, controlled environment instead of at the gate under pressure. Let me tell you what to do if, despite your best planning, you still get weighed at the gate and the number comes back too high. First, don't argue or get defensive. That won't help and it slows everything down. Instead, do one quick, strategic move. Identify the single heaviest item in your carry-on that you can easily relocate. This might be your laptop power brick, your toiletry pouch, a hardcover book, or even a pair of shoes. Pull that one item out and transfer it to your personal item or slip it into a jacket pocket. Then ask them to weigh the bag again. You're not doing a complete repack of your entire suitcase. You're strategically removing the heaviest single object to drop below the threshold. This takes maybe 30 seconds and often solves the problem immediately without the physical strain and stress of a full reorganization. Even better, prevent the situation from happening in the first place with smart packing decisions at home. Weigh your carry-on as one of your final packing steps right before you leave for the airport. If you're cutting it close on weight, wear your heaviest items instead of packing them. Put on that bulky jacket, even if it's warm in your house. Wear your sturdiest, heaviest pair of shoes to the airport and pack lighter ones. Then, go through your bag one more time and pull out the weight traps. Those items that add pounds without adding much value. Heavy hardcover books can be replaced with ebooks on your tablet. Multiple backup charging cables can be reduced to just 1 or 2. That full-size bottle of shampoo can become a small travel container. Duplicate items like 3 different types of pain relievers when one would do can be eliminated. The goal is to keep your packing functional but light and to always keep your medication pouch with you in your personal item rather than buried in your checked roller bag. Now, let's talk about that personal item because this is where I see a lot of senior travelers making their lives harder than necessary. The official rule is straightforward. You're allowed 1 carry-on bag and 1 personal item. That personal item needs to fit completely under the seat in front of you. Most airlines specify dimensions around 18 in X14 in X8 in, though there's some variation between carriers. The spirit of the rule is simple. Your personal item is for things you want access to during the flight without having to open the overhead bin. But what I see happening all the time is travelers treating their personal item like a second carry-on suitcase. They show up with a roller bag, a large backpack that's stuffed to capacity, a tote bag draped over one shoulder, maybe a duty-free shopping bag, and a jacket draped over everything. They look like they're moving apartments, not boarding a plane. When flights are packed and airlines need to speed up boarding, that's when gate agents start cracking down. They'll count your items and ask you to consolidate. They'll check whether your personal item actually fits under the seat or whether you've brought something so large it has to go overhead, which defeats the entire purpose. For senior travelers, I want you to completely reframe how you think about your personal item. Stop seeing it as extra luggage space. Start seeing it as your underseat access kit, a carefully organized system that keeps your 5 most essential categories within reach throughout your journey. Here's what belongs in there: your passport and any travel documents, your wallet with ID and credit cards, your phone and phone charger, your medication pouch with everything you might need during the flight or immediately upon arrival, and optionally, a small snack if you need to manage blood sugar or just want something familiar and comforting available. That's it. You're not packing a second suitcase. You're packing the specific items you need to access without standing up, without opening an overhead bin, without asking a flight attendant for help. Choose a soft-sided bag for your personal item because soft sides compress and flex to fit under seats more easily than rigid structures. Pick something that can sit comfortably against your body or hang from your shoulder, keeping your hands free when you're walking down the jet bridge or navigating the aisle to your seat. If you manage your blood sugar or have any condition where having food available matters, add one small, non-messy snack. This isn't about being dramatic or over-prepared. It's about maintaining your physical stability and comfort throughout the flight without depending on airline snack service or hoping you can access your overhead bag mid-flight. Before I move on, let me mention something important about medical devices. If you travel with a CPAP machine, a portable oxygen concentrator, a cane, a walker, or any other assisted device, most US airlines treat these items separately and don't count them against your carry-on allowance. However, rules can vary significantly when you're flying on non-US carriers or traveling entirely outside the United States. Some international airlines have different policies, and some countries have their own regulations about medical equipment. So before you pack, check your specific airline's medical device policy. Look it up on their website, call their customer service line if you need clarification, or even send them an email so you have the policy in writing. And here's the critical part: keep your medical device bag clearly medical. If you start stuffing sweaters, snacks, magazines, and random personal items into your CPAP bag, an airline can reasonably argue that it's functioning as regular luggage and count it against your limit. Keep it clean, keep it obvious, and you'll avoid that discussion entirely. So, here's the bottom line for senior travelers navigating the 2026 carry-on landscape. Keep your bag small enough to pass the sizing frame without forcing it. Keep it light enough to lift comfortably without straining. Keep it organized well enough that you can grab what you need in one smooth motion. Do those 3 things consistently, and you skip the public repacking embarrassment. You avoid the surprise weigh-ins, and you eliminate the gate stress that can ruin your entire travel day before you even take off. Let me give you a quick 4-point recap you can save and reference before every trip. First, pass the sizer by measuring your bag the way the airport will, including wheels, handles, and any bulging pockets. Second, pass the scale by weighing your packed bag at home with a small buffer built in. Third, keep your underseat access kit consistent so your absolute essentials stay with you no matter what happens with your roller bag. Fourth, pack for the strictest possible security lane so nothing normal and innocent turns into a checkpoint problem. If this information helped you, do me a favor and hit that like button right now so other travelers can find this video and benefit from it too. Subscribe to Entry Status USA if you haven't already, because we're constantly posting practical travel advice, visa requirement updates, and senior-friendly flying tips that can save you time, money, and stress. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your absolute non-negotiable item when you travel? Is it your medication pouch that needs to stay with you at all times? Is it a blood sugar snack that keeps you stable during long flights? Or is it your battery pack so you never run out of power for your phone or medical devices? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your input helps other travelers learn what to prioritize, and it helps me create even more useful content for this community. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video from Entry Status USA.